Is anybody familiar with the early 20th century sports writer by the name of Grantland Rice? You may not know his name, but I'm sure you might remember something he said. He's the one who said, "It's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game." You know what I have to say to him? Bull. Bull. Do you think Elon went out to play Duke to lose? Do you think that Elon wanted another touchdown? I do. What about a gold medalist? Do you think they prepare for the Olympics to get a bronze medal?
No.
Or do they want to win and get a gold medal? Of course they do. What about you, studying all night for a major exam? Do you only study enough to get a B minus? I don't think so. You want to win, you want an A, right? I say bull to Grantland Rice. It's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. Let's, for example, talk about this game, and let's call this game life. I want to say that life has three facets to it. And the first facet of this game of life is chance or risk. We all take risks sometimes, right? Anybody buy a lottery ticket this week? Big risk. We think we're going to be the $1 million winner. You know? We want to win. Right? Take a risk. Take a chance. How many of you eat at the dining halls this week? Kidding. 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 Even walking across the street, you take a chance. As evidenced by our recent alum, Torley Fosley, who was hit broadside walking across the street a few years ago. He's well. We take chances all the time. In fact, I have, let's see, Patrick. I have a crisp $50 bill here. Here. Want it? You want it? Yeah. I'm thinking of a number from 1 to 10. If you get the number, it's yours. 1 to 10. 8. Wrong. You lose. Chance. Second facet of this game of life, I'm going to call passion. Passion is living 100% for something. Yesterday, our student executive leaders came together for an all-morning and afternoon retreat, and one of our exercises was to pick a color that we could identify and why. Hands down, I immediately wrote red, because red is the color of passion. I talk with my hands. I get excited. I'm passionate about things. Any of you following the U.S. Tennis Open down in Flushing Meadows, New York? Yes? No? Yeah? I watched yesterday a passionate young man, John Isner, who's born and raised in Greensboro, play for 5 sets to try and win over Philip Kohlschreiber from Germany, and he tried his hardest, 100%, and he didn't win, but he gave it his all. Jeremiah, in the first reading, God called him to be a prophet to his nation. And a prophet wasn't a fortune teller. A prophet was there to tell the people they weren't living according to the law of God. And Jeremiah very passionately said, "You duped me. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't want any of this." Passion, part of life. Believe in something, do it with 100% energy. The third facet of this game of life I call grace. And Jesus Christ is the greatest example. Everything good that we do or accomplish is because God gives us the grace. We'd like to pat ourselves on the back. Good job, buddy boy. God gives us the grace to accomplish good things. Jesus is the greatest example, being able to lay down his life in service for his brothers and sisters. We can't talk about chance, passion, and grace without talking about discipleship. Discipleship sometimes we need to take a chance and take a risk. If you're in a dining hall with somebody, with a group, and all of a sudden you make the sign of the cross and start to pray, people are going to ask questions. They're going to say, what does that mean? I'm a Christian. I'm taking a chance. Even talking about your faith to those in your dorms and in your suites and apartments is taking a chance sometimes. That's what it means to be a disciple. It also means living a life passionately for other people, laying down our lives in service, in imitation of Jesus. It means living in God's grace always, knowing that, we can't do this by ourselves. He's with us, giving us that little nudge or push we need to accomplish His will, to do the right thing, to turn the other cheek, to be generous, to forgive when we don't have it in our hearts. That's grace. He talks about picking up our crosses and carrying them. We all have our own crosses, as you well know. I heard a story about a big mega church down in Texas that was having trouble filling their church for their main service, so they got and employed a Madison Avenue ad agency to come and do a study in their church. What's wrong? Why can't we fill it? After a few weeks, they came back with the results, and the results were these. People, you need to remove all the crosses from your churches, because those crosses are negative symbols for young people. They don't want to see the cross. What? How many of you have a cross around your neck? Whether silver, gold, wood, or whatever, you wear a cross. You know the cross is a symbol of torture. You're wearing a symbol of torture around your neck. Would you consider wearing a small replica of an electric chair around your neck? Or a hypodermic needle? Probably not. The cross, it's not just jewelry if we're wearing it. It's not just a symbol of our piety or of our religiosity. It's a sign to us and others that we are willing to lay down our lives in service for one another. That's what it means. If you're wearing a cross, it's a bold statement of discipleship. And I hope we can live up to that. I found a lovely quote, paragraph actually, from Henry Nouwen, Dutch theologian. He says, a choice calling for discipline. He says, when we look critically at the many thoughts and feelings that fill our minds and hearts, we may come to the horrifying discovery that we often choose death instead of life, curse instead of blessing, jealousy, envy, anger, resentment, greed, lust, vindictiveness, revenge, hatred. Those are sometimes the passions we have in our hearts. They all float in our lives like a large reservoir. Often we take them for granted and allow them to be there and to do their destructive work. But God asks us and gives us the grace to choose life and choose blessing. This choice requires an immense inner discipline. It requires a great attentiveness to the death forces within us and a great commitment to let the forces of life come to dominate our everyday thoughts and feelings. We cannot always do this alone. Often we need a caring guide or a loving community to support us. But it is important that we both make the inner effort and seek the support we need from others to help us choose life. It's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. We play the game of life to be winners in the eyes of God by laying down our lives for one another and carrying our crosses in imitation of Jesus.